Join us for a review of the Mercedes E Class facelift as estate. Special version here today, the Mercedes E Class All Terrain. Let's go! In the front here, the new Mercedes E-Class with a facelift receives different front grille, also updated, for example, the so-called avant-garde trim, but here the E-Class All-Terrain gets a separate own front grille with this design with the holes right there, two horizontal fins, and then a grid structure below that, in between, here up and down, and also this stronger lower grille with the high gloss black, so a very strong appearance already in the front, and giving us something of this off-road character. 4 meters 92, 16 foot 1 or 194 inches is the length. And here we go. Hello. So here we are. Side mirrors fold in at the moment, black cover and also black frames around the windows. Put a head on the inside, then the mirrors fold out. And special unique feature for this all-terrain version, here the big crossover cladding right there, front and in the rear. In the rear, however, it's a little bit split here by the rear door. That looks kind of weird. And it always comes with big wheels, 19 or 20 inch. Here today we have the 19-inch wheels, also with an aerodynamic design, optional 20 inch. I think this is also big enough here at the moment, winter tires, so it will look even more impressive with the summer tires then. And here we go with the rear, where the facelift changes for the sedan are a little bit more striking. Here with the estate versions, it's more or less the tail lamp design, which looks more modern in this dot structure, LED, really cool. E450, the engine for today. But here the all-terrain version is again more unique with this high gloss cover here in the lower area, so next to the hatch, and then another one here, well, is it off-road diffuser, shall we call it that way, here in the lower area. Really interesting. As for engines, you get 2-liter 4-cylinder or 3-liter 6-cylinder, both petrol and diesel. The main engine for today, and also in general for here, the E-Class All-Terrain, will be the E450. That's a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder turbo petrol engine, around 360 horsepower, all-wheel drive, rear-wheel bias. Around 5 seconds is the acceleration figure to 100 kilometers or 62 miles an hour, and this so-called EQ boost, that means it's a mild hybrid technology. Inside of the doors, where you control the seats and also seat heating, seat cooling. Then this beautiful matte wood insert here, especially in sunlight. And then the interior here with the new steering wheel, capacitive buttons, new design. This is the standard steering wheel. Optional, you can also go for the AMG line with the AMG line design, where you have a 2-spoke steering wheel design, which looks sporty, and the steering wheel itself is also a little bit smaller. I would recommend that actually as for the steering wheel. Seats, there are different versions available, and the good thing is here that the E-Class offers a wide variety of sustainable animal-free seats. For example, especially for European markets, you can get here fabric on the inside, also for the all-terrain. And then leatherette or Artico Ambitex looks like this on the outside in black, beige and gray, so it's ideal for keeping cool in summer and warm in winter and having a great premium look to it. The US market for the all-terrain will probably then feature full Artico or Ambitex seating, also in different colors. This one here you see at the moment, however, the optional animal skin surface. Getting inside, nice seating comfort here, of course, in the E-Class. Good, you know, sedan seating position, or in this case then the estate. And when I put the seat all the way down like this, one means a 6'1", still leaves some headroom here. Usually the new E-Class facelift always comes with digital instruments now, and also this widescreen format, but in 10.25 inch left and right. This would be standard. Optional or standard here for the all-terrain version, the wider, bigger setup, 2x12.3 inch so 2 times the bigger screens, and this of course a very impressive setup. Zoom more details to all of these screens, to both screens. Very interesting. And then you can see you can get different decor elements here, the matte wood for example. You hear that, also feel that, no fingerprints also here in this middle console final. Really very nicely done. Then I like it that we still have the manual climate unit here, so we can control it while driving in a very nice way. Then we have here on this matte surface cable connection for your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and underneath the smartphone here also an inductive charging pad, then adaptive cup holders, and then there's this touchpad you can use for the infotainment system, for example. This is also quite helpful, and you can also write an address on that if you like. And here the dynamic select, this is then for the driving modes. The GPS, which has quite good responsive times. Happy with the software right here. Use it via touch, use it with the right thumb here on the steering wheel, that is possible, or then with the lower touchpad possible too. And interesting here, for example, for the comfort setting, ambient lighting, different colors and so on. This is always really fancy to use. Of course, ocean blue or purple sky are my favorite ones. The massage is really nice, and of course also an option here, for example, with the wave massage. It also goes to the seating area, and this is good for long drives, that you also have some movement on the seating area, that you don't get, like, you know, fatigue in your lower area, and that's definitely a good thing to have right here. So the menu is actually quite simple. CarPlay accessed by this, and when we listen to the sound system, which is not the optional Burmester 3D sound system here, but the standard one, I mean, yeah, there is a very notable difference to this optional Burmester sound system, but it already does the job. Let's take it that way. And here, once again, if you want to take a look at the CarPlay integration. And here we go with the digital instruments. You can slide with your left thumb here in this menu with the new capacitive buttons. So you can change the middle part, and then you can also change what you want to have on the sides here, for example. So this is also possible. And then you can also go to this whole main menu and switch around everything else. You can have, for example, GPS map in there. This is of course really helpful, so you can have it like this, but you can also go for the full screen like this, and then it's all over the place. This is of course one of the most helpful features always of the digital instruments. Last but not least, you can change the whole styling here as well. It's always nice to see, for example, for sports gauges. This is one of the options. In the head-up display, a little bit difficult to see it now in brightness. Here with the current speed, allowed speed, or some GPS information, a very helpful feature definitely. As for the rear, you have soft touch at the inside of the doors here as well, and again this beautiful matte wood insert, wow. And it would be easier if you put the seat a little bit higher to put your feet underneath it. Usually it's also more comfortable if you sit in the front and have the seat a little bit higher. But here already the recess of the seat does fit. You have to think about this, a long vehicle already, and then there's not too much legroom considering the length of the vehicle. Of course, you get along with 4 or 5 taller adults. And here then the headroom is also still okay. Electric hatch here, standard, and really cool here for the T model or T model estate. The wagon here, this long loading area, 1 meters and 15. You can see here the luggage fits easily inside, and the width here is also more than a meter right there. Really cool. And the total height, this is important, almost 75 centimeters. This here, the cover automatically goes up and down. The cabin trolley also easily fits in here in a vertical way, no problem at all. Welcome to Thomas's Driving Lounge with the Mercedes E Class E450 All-Terrain, the state version, das T-Modell, that's in German. I made that a little bit exaggerated, yeah. So Sport Plus mode, here we want to test the performance of that engine first. Inline 6-cylinder, about 360 horsepower, about 5 seconds is the acceleration figure, 1 kilometers or 60 miles an hour. Let's drop behind a little bit and see a safe passage entry into the motorway. We accelerate from 30 kilometers an hour to whatever. Let's go. flop, that's 140 kilometers an hour. I'll tell you that's blocking us at the moment, but really good acceleration. And now we can test how is the acceleration when we are already at speed from 120 kilometers an hour. That's 200 kilometers an hour, 125 miles an hour, and I mean, this is here the so-called off-road version or crossover version. And super silent once again. The E-Class, one of the most silent vehicles on the market. Maybe just the S-Class is a little bit more silent at higher speeds, but here at 200 kilometers or the 125 miles an hour, well, the perfect noise isolation. It's like driving 100 with some other vehicles. Now on the brakes, good feeling to that as well. Lane changing also at higher speeds, car remains stable, although we have the air suspension. It is delivering us a very comfortable ride, yes, but it's not shaking up too much, and especially here in the Sport or Sport Plus mode, it's getting stiffer, so we have less rolling of the vehicle, so you always remain flexible having these drive modes. So really cool from the acceleration, and also quite nice sound here, 6-cylinder sound, really like that. So definitely one of my favorite engines. Now we go back to the comfort mode, relax a little bit more. We go into the tunnel, and in that tunnel we can always see a little bit more, for example, of the what's coming there. And some buffers probably, right? So here, for example, we can set the ambient lighting, the brightness is all the way there. Color. I think we should go here. Ocean blue. There we go. That's better, right? So here, beautifully done. We can see the blue better here to the interior. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. So really cool. As for the very central ambient lighting in the tunnel. And then once again, what a relaxing motorway vehicle. Really perfect. As for the air suspension, the big wheels are actually okay. And also steering wheel feeling. It's not, really harsh or hard. It's rather a very soft setup. You have to like that. There are more sporty behaving cars. This is also not the AMG line or something. So that always depends on, and then you have this, effect from the seat where it goes left and right from the bolsters to keep you a little bit tighter in the seat. Also very interesting function here with the E-Class. Has been for quite some time. And then let's go back to Sport Plus mode to have the biggest boost and once more acceleration from 100 kilometers up to, let's see where we go. That's 177. And what's going on here? Oh, okay, now we can drive again. Here we go. Really stable once again, also in this high-speed corner. 200 kilometers an hour, 125 miles an hour. Now I do a lane change at a really high speed, although having air suspension. Yeah, really stable, very good in control. Sport Plus mode is keeping the air suspension tight like an AMG. Wow. So nicely done that you can adjust it really, going from this air carpet soft ride to a sporty ride, which really comes closer to an AMG model as for the suspension. Really, really nice. Now hard on the brakes here down to 120. Of course, you can't deny the weight of the vehicle, no doubt about that. And then you think you want to have some calmness and comfort again, switch it back to the comfort mode, and then you have that suspension, flying you over the road once again. Definitely driving-wise, you can just confirm that the Mercedes E-Class All-Terrain is one of the dream estates on the market. And now to our conclusion for today with the Mercedes E-Class All-Terrain. Yes, for sure, one of the dream estates on the market. A great unique look with this crossover cladding, big wheels, air suspension, great comfort. On the inside also a high trim level and, especially on the European market, Great seating choices also available, not today, but in general, different colors for the fabric leatherette mix. This is also then perfection then here in this segment. The US market then most probably get the Artico MB text in a full way seating then. So I really like the unique styling. Interior could be a little bit more space on the rear bench in general for an E-Class, but nice updates they have there also for the infotainment screen with the MBUX latest version. Big screen setup here, standard for the all-terrain. Yeah, and then about this capacitive steering wheel. I mean, while driving it's quite okay as for the steering input, yes, but controlling it on the buttons while driving is harder than before. That's to me a step backwards. The AMG line steering wheel, by the way, for the E-Class facelift, this is really cool. It looks fancier. It's also better to handle, also smaller and so on. But there, again, the capacitive buttons, I think this is one of the step backwards. Everything else has been nicely updated here with the facelift, also new with the tail lamps. Whereas the sedan, however, looks way more different than the pre-facelift version, whereas the estate version here doesn't look that much changed. So, what do you think about our driving part also for today? Good also this inline 6-cylinder engine. I can really recommend you to go for this one if you go for a Mercedes. Of course, not the cheapest choice, but that's definitely not the all-terrain version of the E-Class. Looking forward to your feedback. Is this your favorite E-Class? Is this your favorite estate? Put it in the comments. Let's discuss this vehicle here and also see you next time.